Welcome to the 52nd episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I am Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
Brian McCain, Chief of Staff.
We finally got it right.
You have no green.
My last name is McCain, so I feel that green is built into my DNA.
Your blood?
He said that was his pass today.
Great. I'll give you a pin.
Yeah, we need something with some green. I told him to carry a box of Girl Scout cookies around and just like tape it to his arm or something.
I'll just eat them all.
Yeah, exactly. It's very Irish. I want to remind the listener that you can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch this on local channel 17. And if you have questions or topic suggestions, you can email us mayor@pueblo.us. Mayor, last night we had a city council work session. We had a legislative update from our lobbyist. We heard from our partners at United Way about the Lead Center. And then one thing that we talked about last week on the podcast and was discussed last night, there was a work session on CSAC and the IGA from our Director of Housing, Melissa Cook. So CSAC is the Citizens Service Advisory Commission, and there was a conversation about what the IGA looks like moving forward, and it sounds like there might be a path to CSAC not being dead.
Yeah, so it sounds like council's just going to put it back on the agenda and
sure
vote to pass it.
Yeah. I think there was just some confusion about the recommendations being combined with the IGA and not understanding that process. Mm-hmm. Also think President Aliff gave some good background as to like how CSAC came to be. And, you know, a lot of folks put a lot of time and effort into CSAC, listening to presentations, doing site visits, speaking with each of the organizations. And so he kind of asked council, is that what you want to do?
Right. Do
you want to take back CSAC and have us listen to hours and hours of presentations? And the consensus was no. Mm-hmm. So I think that was good. The county has already approved their half of the IGA. So then we'll see what it looks like to move forward with us. That will be on first reading on the
Monday.
23rd?
Yep.
Okay. And then the recommendations will be done separately.
Yep.
Great. Another presentation we had last night was actually by you regarding the Pueblo Shelter. Yeah. I thought you had some really impressive numbers regarding the shelter. So there's 90% more outreach meals, an increase in emergency shelter, and 205% increase in more nightly clients. But there was one number in particular that I thought was extremely impressive, and that was that 32 clients in total have moved on from the Pueblo Shelter to permanent housing and have left the shelter. So that means 32 individuals, and this is since December of 2024, no longer live on the streets in Pueblo or no longer reside in the Pueblo Shelter and have a home of their own. So they're no longer unhoused. And I find that number really impressive.
Yeah, tangible outcomes.
Yeah.
And then you got to see the breakdown of the other individuals who are in different phases of the different programs.
Right.
Whether they're getting a GED or they're at PCC or Job Corps. So I thought that was pretty cool too.
Well, and then you had some numbers regarding folks that are involved in peer support or receiving mental health treatment, what their diagnosis is.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing that a lot of times when we talk about outreach or the unhoused population, there's really broad statements made about folks, like everybody's addicted to drugs or everybody has mental illness. And you shared some of those numbers as well. And so it was actually tangible, and rather than making these broad sweeping statements of everybody's just in this one group, there was a good breakdown of that.
Yeah, and the Public Community Health Center numbers were pretty impressive too.
Really impressive.
200 and 95 clients since July of 2025. So that's really, 7-8 months.
Yeah.
And they're just 1 day a week. So that's really good to see that people are going there for services.
And then we just signed the MOU to expand those services because there is a need. And so, we've talked that started as a pop-up clinic, kind of as a trial run, and to see how many folks have utilized it. Now we know it needs to be more permanent.
Yeah, absolutely. More days, more hours.
And I know we've hosted the folks from the Pueblo Shelter, and we've talked a lot about the partnerships, but I think that's another piece is just, Catholic Charities of Southern Colorado, PCHC, there's legal support, peer support with folks there, and so all those partnerships.
Yeah, one thing I didn't mention last night either is they have 2 nurses that come to the facility every single day and distribute meds and do blood pressure monitoring. For individuals every single day too. So that's
amazing.
Yeah,
great.
People are coming to them.
Good. So part of the reason for this presentation is because it's March. We're coming up on the end of the first term of the contract with Safe Side Recovery. And so you kind of talked about what the path forward looks like as far as funding, and that the remaining 7 months of the year we need to allocate $446,000. So can you talk a little bit about that funding breakdown?
Sure. So originally in 2025 they were granted 12 months. So that was in May. So they received 7 months in 2025.
Sure.
But we can't pre-obligate funding in our budget process. So this year we had to obligate the 5 months.
Sure.
That was left in the remainder of their 12-month contract. So now we're looking at another 12 months, so we have to fund 7 months, the remaining 7 months for 2026. And so the city received during COVID home art funds that are only to be used for sheltering services, people who are going to become homeless, so preventative measure, and homeless veteran services. So it's or rent assistance. It's has a very special clientele that
it's very
it can
specific.
Serve. That's also what we're going to be paying for the 8 new units that are coming the fence. It's all going to be paid with these home ARP dollars that the city never used from COVID. And so half of that money is going to come from home ARP.
Great.
$145,000. My proposal is to take it out of the ARPA interest. We gain money on that account every month. So these gap funding projects, I propose that a lot to City Council to use that interest to pay for things, and then $100,000 out of the general fund. Okay.
So of the 446, only 100 would come from the general fund.
Right. Yep.
Okay. And I know you also mentioned the Pueblo 1000, which is a fundraising effort that Safe Side Recovery has proposed. It does sound like there's been other mechanisms to receive funding.
Yeah, they've received a couple of grants, but the grants they can't be used for operating.
Sure.
So they have to be for making changes. They bought new bunks, new camera system, new card readers. So they're doing improvements to the facility with those dollars they received. Sure. And then their Pueblo 1000, I think they were close to raising $70,000 over the last year. So that's pretty incredible for, people supporting it after what had happened previously.
Yeah.
So you're starting to see that rapport be rebuilt within the community, and people wanting to donate their time and money to help the shelter.
Yeah, that public trust piece is really important. I do think, though, that you touch on something important as well. You know, a lot of folks, when we see grants, you want to see it to go to benefit the folks that are receiving the services. And so you also mentioned last night things like spraying for bed bugs. Yep. And that's something that previously the shelter really struggled with, and was something that the city was subsidizing, and they've taken that over.
Yep. The city had been paying for that.
Yeah, so I think those are important measurements as well to see the progress at the Pueblo Shelter.
Yep.
So then next steps.
So next steps, we'll draft an ordinance to secure the funding, and hopefully City Council will approve it, and we'll extend the contract for another year.
Okay. Awesome. That sounds great. Okay. Well, anything else you want to talk about from last night's council meeting?
I don't think so. I think we covered.
I mean, there were quite a few.
Several presentations.
Yeah, there were quite a few presentations.
Open meetings.
Sunshine Law.
President Aliff's cattlery.
Yeah.
Cattery that goes kind of hand in hand with the shelter. Legislative update. Yeah, I think we covered it.
Yeah. It was a good meeting. So this week the city is celebrating Lucky to Live in Pueblo. Today is St. Patrick's Day.
We got the memo.
We did. Chief of Staff McCain did not. But so we're featuring folks on social media, elected officials, city employees, businesses, and we've invited partners around the community, nonprofits, community partners, to also share why they feel lucky to live in Pueblo. And we're doing that March 15th through the 22nd. Everybody wants to know why the 22nd, because it's Pueblo Flag Day.
Good answer.
Yeah. So it just makes sense. At least that's what I tell myself, okay?
Got it.
So, Mayor, I would like to know why you feel lucky to live in Pueblo.
Well, there's so many reasons.
There really are, yeah.
I mean, you could talk about the weather. It's going to be, 70 degrees today? Yesterday it was winter. Today it's 70, and we're going to get in the high 80s.
Over the weekend.
This week, so I'm lucky to live in Pueblo because of great weather, great food, great people, great close-knit community.
Yeah.
And I'm lucky to be the mayor of this city. And I'm lucky to have fantastic employees who work for the city, and fantastic supporters who support all the good work that we're doing with this administration.
Yeah, that sounds great.
There's a lot of I'm luckies. I know you just wanted one.
No, I like it. It's good. How about you?
So the generic answer people will say that I totally agree with is that you could drive 5 to 10 minutes in any direction, go fishing, go water skiing, go to the mountains, a little bit further to go snow skiing, but it's just centrally located in a spot that you can get anything that makes Colorado great by just less than an hour away. I feel I'm lucky to live in Pueblo because I think that the people of Pueblo have a sense of service. And I've always said this throughout my career. It's like, we have a lot of veterans in Pueblo, right? And our veterans are people that did 4 to 6 years. They didn't retire. You look at Colorado Springs, other areas, you get veterans that are retired. That was their career. But people in Pueblo really want to support the community, give back, and serve. And whether that's nonprofits, whether that's working for the city government, the county government, running for office, or just doing, going into the military, because you have that sense of service. And I think that Pueblo's very unique in that people want to give back to the community in their own way and serve.
Yeah.
That's my answer.
It does
what
make us
about
lucky.
You, Haley Sue?
I feel lucky to live in Pueblo. I feel like Pueblo is very unique. Because of our people and because of our culture. The reason we love our food is because, at Christmas time, I eat pizza and I also have tamales. And neither of those food items are from my own heritage, but it's from my Pueblo heritage. And I think that's one thing that's super unique is just, a lot of people talk about it being like a melting pot, and culturally, I think it's really diverse, and I love it. Like you, also the weather. As a golfer, I think Pueblo has amazing golf courses. And
how many do we have? Because I know I don't golf at all. I know nothing about golf, but I know that I have family that comes to Pueblo every year just to golf for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 within city limits and 5 or 6 within Pueblo County, which is amazing. But yeah, so our weather's fantastic. And then as someone who grew up loving the outdoors, like whether I'm hiking or skiing, it was so close. I didn't have to drive 3 hours. I could drive an hour and a half. I could drive 30 minutes. The list is really long of why I feel lucky to live in Pueblo. I don't have a short answer. I'm like you. I can't pick one. But mostly I would say the people of Pueblo is why I feel lucky to live here. Yeah. Those are good reasons. And the reason you were missing your words, Brian, is because you weren't wearing green. You don't have the luck on your side today.
Usually my wife approves my outfit before I leave, and she left early today, so she would have caught it. So
I'm going to have to text your wife. We need to lay the clothes out the night before. Well, I do want to invite our listener, though, to join us in Lucky to Live in Pueblo. You can comment on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, why you feel lucky to live in Pueblo. You can post something of your own. Like I mentioned, we are featuring our city employees, our elected officials, and businesses around Pueblo. We've invited a lot of our partners, and we're using the hashtag Lucky to Live in Pueblo. I think it's a really good reminder. We've talked about it quite a few times on this podcast that, sometimes we forget to speak well of ourselves in Pueblo. And so that was a big reason why we started this campaign, was to remind us why we love living in our city and why it's a great community to be a part of. Cool. Anything else that we need to know?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Okay. Well, short and sweet, to the point. I'll remind the listener you can find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Buzzsprout, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also email us for topic suggestions or questions, mayor@pueblo.us, and we will see you next week.